It is 12 noon. Welcome back into Three-Man Front. Pat, Molly, Conrad, Landrum with you until 2 o'clock. Peter Ratterkoos joined the program earlier. Talked Auburn, Texas A&M. Rodney Orr from Tider Insider. Georgia, Bama. We just heard from Rob Pate. Coming up this hour, the Southern Gentleman from WHBQ Radio in Memphis, Brett Norsworthy, will be on the program. Also part of the Ole Miss Radio Network. We'll get his thoughts on a big one in Oxford, Mississippi, between LSU and Ole Miss. It's unfortunate that that game's going to be going on the same time as Auburn and Texas A&M. So a lot of split screen viewing this weekend.
If you want to look at it as potentially a college football playoff eliminator,
possibly.
When you look at those two teams, Ole Miss and LSU respectively, in their schedules?
Possibly so. The availability reports came out last night for Alabama and Auburn for this weekend's games. And for Alabama, Jamarian Latham, who had the neck injury earlier this week. He was at UAB St. Vincent's. I think he's still there as we speak. I was checking with a couple of people in Tuscaloosa, and I believe he had a medical procedure done at St. Vincent's. So quick recovery for Jamarian Latham. Jeremiah Beeman is also out for the Georgia game. Probables, Danny Lewis and Tim Keenan. So expect Tim Keenan absolutely will be on the field against the Georgia Bulldogs. Meanwhile, for the Auburn Tigers, we already knew that Horatio Fields was out due to a broken foot he suffered earlier this week in practice. Darrell Robinson, who's got a leg issue, he is out for the Texas A&M game. Meanwhile, Amaris Williams, Connor Lew, they're questionable, probable. Malcolm Simmons, Caleb Harris, Jeremiah Cobb, and Jay Crawford. That will be updated tonight a little bit after 7 o'clock.
I saw something. I want to get you guys' opinion. Most impactful transfer so far in the SEC. Could you say it has been Trinidad Chambliss? A transfer from Ferris State.
Yes.
I think that's a...
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put him over John Mateer.
I would say those are... I think we're about to find the answer to that question.
Or
now.
Joey Aguilar.
I think you could make a strong argument for Trinidad. I think the Oklahoma defense is so good that maybe they'll be okay for the next few games without him, but I think it's certainly...
I mean, Chambliss is doing it as a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not the guy that was supposed to be the dude.
I think you could definitely make the argument you're getting the best return on investment out of Trinidad Chambliss.
100%.
No
I
doubt
have no
about
idea
that.
what his deal looks like, but
I can guarantee you it's a good deal for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Something else that we talked about in the first hour of the program, and I know a lot of you chimed in on the Courtesy GMC text line. This is a true story. That we're not making this up, but this week in Chicago, Illinois, conference commissioners, they met to discuss the fall college football playoff. They get together. They call this the fall college football playoff meetings in Chicago. And so instead of them actually talking about what's going to be the format for 2026 and beyond, they're now talking about putting together a study group or a committee amongst athletic directors from all the Power Four conferences, because the Big Ten is floating the idea of having anywhere between a 20-team and a 28-team playoff. So now they're going to be discussing that as opposed to let's kind of fine-tune this 16-team playoff or whatever the case may be. So that's going on in Chicago. Also in Chicago, the FCS, they had a meeting, all their commissioners, and they're looking at potentially a private investment company or equity group buying the FCS playoffs and then putting forth the playoffs in which there would be a payment to the schools involved, NIL, the players would get direct funding, all that kind of fun stuff. So that's also going on. One other tidbit that I just saw a few moments ago in regards to this meeting in Chicago. It appears that starting next season in college football, teams will be allowed to have sponsorship ads on their uniforms.
Not a fan of that.
I've gotten used to it in baseball, but not crazy about it in football. College football.
It looks better in baseball than in basketball. I don't like, because in the NBA, it's like right there on the front, and at least in baseball, it's kind of on the sleeve where it's not directly there. I was just coming around on the idea of the whole field thing.
I don't like it when you mess up a team's color scheme with a logo.
Neither do I.
I just don't.
So you have to find a branding partner that is your exact colors.
Would they play ball where you could use their logo but incorporate your colors? Some
I
of
would
them,
think so.
Some of them would probably say no. We're going to pay this amount of money to put it on there, and that's our iconic logo. For instance, I'm sure that Yellowwood would have a problem with it. I mean, yellow, that's their color, right? And I don't know if there's, just thinking from the Yellowwood aspect.
Just have a big old Apple logo on the back of the helmet there for Auburn.
See, Apple, I think that you could probably get away with it.
Yeah, well, they just came out with the Auburn iPhone, that orange iPhone.
Well, Apple, their Apple, it's different colors, right? It can be different colors. You see it, packaging, signs.
Yeah, and it's
That's
typically even just generally it's white, and that's an easy one. You can work that with just.
How many
anything.
teams, Pat, do you think start doing this? Because we thought it would be a second.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone will do it.
Yeah.
Because it's a revenue stream.
Mm-hmm.
But according to this story, the legislation is expected to be approved in time for patches to be added to uniforms as soon as next fall.
But I asked the question because there seems like there's been a reluctance for some, or maybe it's just you haven't found anybody who wants to pay it. But I kind of find that hard to believe on the field logos as far as putting your corporate dollars on the field. But
well, and I feel like we all thought, okay, well, Alabama and Auburn, they'll eventually do that, but it'll probably take a couple years before people are okay with having a logo on the field, and it's already happened. So I'm with you, Pat. I think everybody will take advantage of that, and you kind of have to now.
Yep. So get ready. So your favorite college football team, the iconic jersey of Alabama, Auburn, Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State, you will have a sponsor logo on your jersey.
Black helmets don't seem so bad now, do they?
well,
Just saying.
You will never live.
well,
that
if you got the
down.
SEC patch, if you have another patch that's right there, if you have like your logo, your team's logo, if you have that embroidered, and then if you're a captain, you have the C on the jersey, and now you add another one.
It's a lot.
I'd have to see it. Seems like it'd be really, really jumbled.
It doesn't matter. If they're going to pay the money and that's a way to make a dime to pay NIL and get yourself a defensive lineman or a quarterback, they will do it. Those days are long gone. And get ready because the NFL ultimately is going to – they're the only one that's not doing it. And the NFL will do it too. The NFL does it now on practice jerseys. They just don't do it on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
But that's coming. They've ruined iconic jerseys in Major League Baseball. It looks horrible. But genie's out of the bottle now.
I'm just saying. The Yankees let you have facial hair. They have a advertisement on their jersey.
It's going to the crapper.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying if they can do that, then Alabama can expand the uniforms, right?
Don't look at me. I'm not in charge of uniforms.
I wish you were.
If a company came in and said, look, if you will go with a black jersey or a black helmet or alternate uniform and we'll give you $100 million, I bet they do it.
Everyone's obsessed with Kalen DeBoer wearing the black hoodie because he has a great record when he's wearing that hoodie. Just saying.
Did he mention last night on his show, is he wearing
He is
that?
going to wear the black hoodie, yes.
Yep.
He said he has had multiple players and family members that have pointed out to him his record. I think he's 9-1 at Alabama. with
Did he
the
burn that polo
black
he
hoodie.
wore in Tallahassee? I bet he did.
I hope so. It was a nice
So what happens if
polo,
he
but yeah.
loses in Athens?
Oh, well, then we burn the hoodie. We find something else. Red hoodie, maybe?
Caitlin
He needs
DeBoer
to be
donning the tank top on the sidelines.
There we go.
The Pat McAfee special. Would be great.
Why not? Well, the chancellor of the University of North Carolina, Lee Roberts, he has given an interview because a lot of people are now, discussing this Bill Belichick hire like, oh boy. Him and his friend, they're on US Weekly?
His friend.
That's
Yeah.
right.
His
His
female
boo?
friend, his boo, his gold digger. What's he calling her?
His boo.
That's his fun
Boo.
friend.
His
That's
fun friend?
just- yeah, that's how people close to the situation. They're just having fun.
Fun friends.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, they're
No marriage.
magazine cover models.
No.
I would just love for Bill in a press conference. Well, friends with benefits.
That's just gross.
Just tell us how it is, Bill.
Anywho, the Chancellor, Lee Roberts of the University of North Carolina, gave us some quotes talking about the current status of the football team there in Chapel Hill. Quoting now directly from an interview he gave to WRAL television, It's not the kind of thing that we judge after 4 games or even after 1 season. These things take time. We last won the conference championship in 1980. And so we have significant work to do, significant investment to make to get the program where we want it to be. I appreciate the need and desire for instant gratification, but it takes time to create success. Success rarely comes fast. It rarely comes easily. It's not a controversial statement to say that about any organization, much less college athletics and college football, end of quote.
Well, I don't know what the conversation is going. I'm just saying that if that was your vision and that was your plan, and this is going to take multiple years to sustain, why did you pick the coach that's 72 years old to do it?
I don't think you're convincing anybody that you went and hired the greatest NFL coach of all time to give him time to turn the program around. I'm with you. Time is one thing he does not have right now.
And the long build in college athletics is almost extinct if you're going to have success, ultimate elite success. Now, what that looks like in Chapel Hill, maybe it looks different than it does in Tuscaloosa.
I like the fact that he threw shade at his own program by saying, we haven't won a conference championship since 1980. Like, we needed to do something different.
This is different, all right.
Forget the fact that Mac Brown won at least 6 games, 6 straight years, and was bowl eligible every year.
I mean, it wasn't. I guess it was when Sam Howell was there. It wasn't that long ago that North Carolina, dark horse playoff team. Watch out for North Carolina this year. They're going to go win 10 games.
34-9 against UCF. That convinced me otherwise.
Scott Frost
Not that
having a
I
nice
needed
year,
convincing.
Molly. He's 4-0 right now.
Oh, stop that.
Told you he was going to have success. Yep.
Coach of the year.
Probably.
Right
Won
now.
another national championship.
Gus Bus keeps rolling without him.
He's got a better record than Matt Rule.
He dang sure does.
It's just so sad.
I bet he could beat Michigan.
Bet you could too. Tell Michigan to come down to the bounce house.
Sorry, Miles.
Would you rather have Dabo or Scott Frost right now, Molly?
Don't even go there.
The Tigers fired their manager yet?
No. We need to sell the team.
Bring him down south. We want him in Nashville. You get to see him play all the time.
Mm-hmm.
15 and a half games.
Let's turn that frown upside down. Come on.
Well,
on,
the way
Scarlett.
you guys are talking, that's not
Come on,
gonna happen.
Scarlett.
They're making
Huh?
fun of your Cornhuskers and your Tigers.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about your Tigers.
Let's go to Liberty. Come
You
on.
didn't need to.
The positive thing, you're still going to make the playoffs.
Well, probably not.
We think.
You know what their ERA is in the month of September?
Don't even.
Is it north of 6?
It's 529.
Ooh.
Since June the 12th, guess who is tied with the Rockies with the worst record in Major League Baseball?
I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers.
It is not. It's the New York Mets.
Oh, there you go.
Think about that. With the Colorado Rockies, the kind of money that they're spending in New York, the same record since June 12th as the Colorado Rockies.
That makes me just as happy as it does Landrum, probably.
No, that roster, it's inexcusable. What the Braves did this year was inexcusable, but the Mets. Oh, that tickles my heart.
Oh, man. Juan Soto couldn't happen to a better guy. Hate it for him.
I like Pete Alonso. That's about it.
Yeah,
Former Florida Gator.
he's easy to root for.
Yep. We will continue with your text, your phone calls, 1-800-239-WJOX. Brett Norsworthy coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's 12:18. Welcome back. Three-man front coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk to Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio in Memphis, Tennessee, afternoon host, also host of the Ole Miss pregame, halftime, and postgame show on the Ole Miss Radio Network. So you remember last year, Ohio State fans, they were very irritated because they played all those games around big noon kickoff.
Yeah.
They had, I think, before the college football playoff game against Tennessee, they played one night game.
You had people in local government introducing things in the state house.
Yes. They were just severely pissed off about the fact that they were having to play noon kickoff games. Well, one of the bigger games of the weekend is happening on Saturday night in Happy Valley as Penn State is taking on Oregon. Huge game. National championship implications, Big Ten implications, the whole ball of wax. And it's also a whiteout. Well, apparently Fox TV, they were trying to muscle themselves into making that game a noon kickoff. Take a listen to James Franklin, the head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Listen to what he had to say about the whiteout coming up this weekend against Oregon.
I know Fox tried to argue that a 12 o'clock whiteout was the same as a 7 o'clock whiteout. I think people would disagree with that. So there's been factors that have impacted it a little bit, but when you're able to get a night game against an opponent like we do with the sky, the black sky and the white uniforms and the white crowd and the contrast of the dark uniforms, and just the anticipation and the build up, the students sleeping outside the stadium all week, it's just turned into a special event, and not just in football. Really in sports. If you're a sports fan, this is like a bucket list thing that you need to attend.
Okay. I don't blame him. If I'm Ohio State or if I was Oregon, I would absolutely love the opportunity for that early kick. Don't want to lay around the hotel all day. Don't want to think about it. Want to go in, take care of business, get back home. But I agree with James Franklin, everything he said.
No, I mean, if you're Penn State, you absolutely want it at night, and you want the fans to be drinking all day and get in there and be all loud.
I want to hear the Fox executive and how they followed that up with, well, a noon whiteout's just the same coach or whoever as a 7 o'clock whiteout. Well, tell me how. Well, everyone's still going to wear white.
The way that the sun reflects off of the white T-shirts, it really just sparkles on television.
Well, Fox is not happy because NBC has the game.
Yeah.
So they were trying to muscle in and get the noon kickoff. We heard Lane Kiffin a week ago. I mean, he predicted it about their game with LSU. He was like going, it's going to be a day game, but I guarantee you if we were playing down in Baton Rouge,
you bet your sweet patootie,
it's going to be a night game. And he goes, and get ready. He said, when we go to Athens, it's going to be a night game.
They kicked that thing at 8:30 if they were playing at Tiger Stadium.
So Lane Kiffin, he predicted it about how the old television schedule is going to come out because Ole Miss is not going to get the opportunity to play a night game against LSU. But you better believe it. You're going to play a night game in Baton Rouge if it's a decent game, period. Speaking of game times, man, I'm telling you what, the Big Ten, they're just they're on a roll. They're wanting 28 teams to play in the college football playoff. You let Fox try to manhandle Penn State to have a noon kickoff, and now you're upsetting one of your West Coast schools.
What?
The USC Trojans. I know. They're playing at 11 a.m. Central Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific. This is what Lincoln Riley had to say about the early morning kickoff against the Illini.
Latest kick in the country to the absolute earliest kick in the country has its challenges, but the challenge is like it is what it is, right? We don't make the schedule, and so clearly, and so we've had to adapt a little bit in the way that we prepared and how much that we've done, and even when you go back to Purdue being a factor now, being so late and getting back so late, like it compounds if you're not careful. So we've tried to be mindful of getting our work done, but at the same time knowing that we need to take a fresh football team. We need to put a fresh football team on that airplane.
Okay, so hearing that soundbite, Pat, doesn't make me want to pounce like I normally would if that was like a Danny Hurley with UConn men's basketball and the moaning and the bitching and complaining that we got from him. No, I understand it, but why is your revenue check so big at the end of the year? USC, I don't know the charter airline that you guys use, but I'm sure you got a great carrier. You guys don't lack for comfort on that flight.
I was going to say, there's a lot of other programs or teams that I'd have more sympathy for than USC in that type of a situation.
Yeah, he didn't go quite Mick Cronin.
No.
The head basketball coach of
Oh.
UCLA.
Oh,
And understand it for scheduling from week to week. That you have to shuffle some things, and I see it. We see it. They're on the south side. There's a lot that goes into it as far as your planning and your staging and who does what and when they do it. But that's your new world. Will there ever come a time when we don't hear that from coaches on the West Coast that are members of the Big Ten?
no. It'll always be a thing. But, I mean, like you said, and I understand, look, it's not the head coach that made the decision at the end of the day, but, I mean, you kind of knew what you were signing up for when you joined the conference. It's the same thing with complaining, well, we've got to travel from the West Coast to New Jersey to play Rutgers. Well, what'd you expect?
But that's what we do as human beings. We do it. We all do it.
Absolutely.
We complain about the weather. We like to complain about the timing of things, whether it's having to stay up late and do something late or get up really early to do something. And we're not getting that check at the end of the year.
Not quite like Lincoln Riley.
No.
It's got a pretty decent
Our pie
football team
pieces.
right now.
I was about to say,
Smaller.
USC is actually pretty good.
You're buying in, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
We'll see what they do to all Burt this weekend.
Poor Bert.
I will definitely be rooting for
What if they
USC.
roll up 60 on Bert
Eee.
in Champaign,
Another
Urbana?
60.
Oh, that would be
Another
awesome.
60.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
You think? I'll save that question as we get deeper and they keep winning games. I was
Do
going
I-
to ask you about a specific team. Do you think Indiana is better than they were last year? I do.
I like the quarterback more.
I think they're better.
You like him better than Rourke?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just have a salty taste in my mouth because of his brother complaining about the CFL yesterday. So
Yeah.
About the team down or the league down
The
south?
league down south. And he's the one that played at Edgewood Academy?
He was. Played in the wonderful state of Alabama his senior year in high school.
a little different now.
Can you imagine going from Ontario, Canada to the heat and humidity of Elmore County?
That'd be a lot.
Just go, well, if we got cooler temperatures today, but I would say walk into a walk-in freezer and then walk outside in mid-July in Alabama. Tell me how that goes.
So y'all got the equator down here, right? It's right down the road. No, you got to go a little further than that, buddy.
That's the way it feels. My goodness gracious. You know, I was communicating yesterday with Jeremy from Artec Tractor because we're getting into the fall months, which means I've got things falling off the trees in my yard. Yes, it's the word leaves. And I need an attachment for my zero turn. And guess what? Artec Tractor, they have those attachments. So if you're a homeowner like myself or you have a large plot of land, you need to get in touch with Artec Tractor. 205-384-95.7 or go by and see them north of Jasper on Highway 5. Visit their website, artectractor.com. Knowledgeable sales department that are going to advise you on any purchase, expert sales department, service department, years of experience. I'm going to get my zero-turn service there at Artec Tractor. And right now, they have the Hunter's Package deal that includes the following for only $450 per month with zero money down. It's the Mahindra 1635 tractor with loader, 20-foot trailer, 5-foot bush hog, 5-foot tiller, 3-point spreader, all of this for $450 per month, 0% financing with zero money down. Custom package deals available to fit whatever you need. Go by and see Jeremy and Greg and all the fine folks there at Artec Tractor, just north of Jasper on Highway 5.
He's a big fan of seersucker suits and chandeliers. Brett Norsworthy, our buddy, the Southern gentleman from the state of Mississippi, breaking down Ole Miss and LSU next.
Oh, we got a big one coming up in Oxford, Mississippi. The Grove is going to be hopping. Woo! Landry Kiffin is going to be hanging out with her boyfriend, who is with the LSU Bengal Tigers. Man, it's going to be a good time.
Maybe she'll make him some snacks before the game.
And
We used to get that in high school. They
take it by the hotel.
little snacks.
Yeah,
Yep.
That'd be big.
He'll have stomach issues and won't be able to go.
It's all part of Lane's plan.
That's all part of that
All right.
mastermind.
We talked to Brett Norsworthy, WHBQ Radio, Ole Miss Radio Network, joins us now. Brett, what is the very latest with Landry?
I don't know. That's not my beat.
Brett's like, nope.
Not going there, guys.
No, sir.
No, not going there.
Staying way away from that one.
I don't blame you.
Nope. Don't blame you.
Yeah. But you know us, we had to ask.
Yeah.
It's part of our contracts. We have to ask.
Yeah.
All right.
I know this. We couldn't block him last year at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, got to have a better blocking scheme this year for sure. All right, so
Much better.
let's talk about this game before we talk about the other games around the Southeastern Conference, because Lane called it that it was going to be an afternoon game. It was not going to be a night game at Vaught Hemingway. Just talk about the Rebels and their quarterback Trinidad Chambliss.
Well, I think the reason why it's in the afternoon is because of what is at night, and that's Alabama and Georgia, and for now that still has preference. This weekend could largely dictate a lot of TV times the rest of the year. If Alabama, if they come out of this weekend 2-2, then the cozy TV treatment that they have deserved, that they have earned. I hear so many people talk about people being entitled, and often that is used as a very negative. Look, Alabama's entitled. If you don't believe it, walk by the trophy case. They're very entitled, but for now, with a loss after this weekend, I'm afraid some of that preference and some of the, a lot of people like to criticize it as Bama privilege. Look, the privilege has been being the best, and that's on the line this weekend in the Alabama-Georgia game, so that's why we're in the afternoon. If it was at Tiger Stadium, they wouldn't even schedule it on the same day as Alabama and Georgia. It would have been it would have been more cozy for LSU, as it always is. They always get the preferential TV times, no matter who they play, because, it's just too hot down there for other mere mortals.
Brett, how much has this LSU team impressed you for the first part of the season versus maybe what you expected leading in?
I expected a little more, and I think we're going to get a little more Saturday. We're going to see LSU really building to this now. Clemson, that's already, some of the shine is off that game. It's not LSU's fault. They did what they had to do in a tough opener. Not many other people were opening in games like that, and even playing and defeating Florida at home. I don't know if many have had that. That Florida defense is for real, and it had good moments against LSU. This is going to be a defensive game. Everybody always expects fireworks with Lane and five wides and all that. I think it's a race to 28, 27 maybe, and you're going to have some defense. And last weekend was the first time the Ole Miss defensive line that I'm big on really bowed up. I told y'all in the preseason, at the end of the year, if it's a great Ole Miss year, people will be talking about the Ole Miss defense. Now, of course, everybody's talking about the Ole Miss offense. You always will with Coach Kiffin and what he can do. But still, if this is going to be a great year for Ole Miss, it's got to be on defense. And last year against Retzlaff and Tulane, it stood up. But much better player and better team from South Louisiana coming into town this weekend.
So it's interesting because when you talk or listen to folks in the Bayou country, they talk about how, Nussmeier has been solid. He has not been spectacular. The running game, they're trying to get that going. Just play this game out for us, how you think, based on the fact that you just brought up the Ole Miss defense, how impressive they were last week against Tulane, a very good team, how you think this is going to play out in regards to both sides, and are we going to have a defensive struggle, or is Ole Miss going to have a shootout?
I don't think it'll be a shootout, Pat. I don't know if that's in Ole Miss's favor. Last year in overtime down at Baton Rouge, it wasn't in Ole Miss's favor. So I think in that 27, 28, let's go crazy, 31. That used to be a lot of points for all of us. And now we're talking about it being a defensive game. Somebody just getting 31. Coach Dye and Coach Bryant and Coach Ball, they all wouldn't recognize this, Coach Dooley. But that's the way it is. It's an offensive game, and that sells tickets. And with Garrett Nussmeier back there, I don't know that we want our backup quarterback getting in a make it take it game with Garrett Nussmeier.
Brett Norsworthy joining us. He's part of the Ole Miss radio crew, also a very talented and successful talk show host there in Memphis, WHBQ in the afternoons. He joins us on the Higginbotham hotline. As we look at this rivalry, the Magnolia Bowl, and I just started thinking about it with some of the permanent opponents and how the SEC has announced some of those future opponents and how it's going to be scheduled. But this particular game, this particular rivalry, describe it for our listeners who are not familiar. How big is this to the Ole Miss folks? How big do you believe it is for the LSU folks?
Landry, I really don't. I do not mean it at all to diminish anybody, but this is the big game to us. Now, Mississippi State, when it rolls around, that's the big game because that's always going to be last. But this is the earliest this game has been played, I think, since the late 30s. So this is really kind of early for this game. It's more of a Halloween thing, and we hope and think that, and kind of been told that they're going to try to get it around that weekend more going forward, because just a little bit after that's kind of been Bama and LSU the last few years. But we know Bama and LSU is not going to be permanent. But everybody's going to be somewhat, pretty regular to see now. We're not going to have these long droughts. But Ole Miss and LSU, it probably means more. I know it means more to us than it does to them, and that margin in the series is a lot of that. And last year kind of showed it. I mean, we had, we thought we had the much better team and had the lead all night, and somehow they gnawed their way to overtime. And I told y'all then, and I'll tell the story again. I was standing on the sideline by a great Ole Miss administrator, and he told me, when they were driving, he said, they're going to go for two here. I said, no, they're not going for two. They're going to tie it, and they're going to win it in overtime. And that's exactly what they did.
Before we pivot away from Ole Miss and talk about some of the other games in the SEC this weekend, I want to get your thoughts on the schedule release and the three permanent opponents, or the rivalry games that they gave Ole Miss over the next 4 years.
Pat, I like it. I think the league did a good job. I know they're really trying to. Nobody's going to – I think everybody's going to be a little irritated that, like LSU, having to come here now 2 years in a row. They'll come here this year. They'll come here next year. At Ole Miss, we will go to Oklahoma in back-to-back years, but we had to do that when A&M and Mizzou came into the league. Not as much, just last year with Texas and OU, where one half got one and the other half got the other. But so, people are going to have to do that. We even had to go back-to-back years to Alabama in those years. And Hugh Freeze very candidly said, this is a good time to do it because we're not going to be beating them anywhere in these years, like in 12 and 13, I think. He said, we're not going to be beating them anywhere in these 2 years. So let's go ahead and, kind of bite the bullet and go down there. So everybody's going to be a little, displaced a little bit along that line. But I think the league did a good job. It's so easy to crack on kind of the establishment in the league office. I'm not here at all to do that. They did a good job. Everybody's got to play, and if you're good, you'll win. If you're not, you'll whine about the schedule.
Brett, as far as the game in Athens with Alabama and the Georgia Bulldogs, which one of those teams do you think we maybe understand or have gotten a better picture of so far this season?
If I had to take one, I think the answer is I don't understand either. But if I had to take one, I guess I would take Georgia for what they did up at Neyland and what their quarterback, what Stockton did against the blitz. I think he was 9 of 10 and just picked the Tennessee blitz apart. They finally had to quit and tried to cover, and you just can't cover everybody now. No, really nobody can. Again, the rules want offense. The rules don't want you hitting that quarterback. You can't touch that big old tight end running down the middle of the field. So they had to Tennessee had to abandon that a little bit, and I think it cost them. So I guess Georgia, and at home, and that that prodigious record they have, not only between the hedges but at night between the hedges. Just not many people go down there and win. The last quarterback to win at night at Sanford Stadium, Morgan Newton for your Kentucky Wildcats.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Whoa.
2009 beat Joe Cox, and Joe's our tight end coach at Ole Miss and a great guy.
Oh my
Morgan
goodness.
Newton versus Joe Cox.
That's amazing. So do you have a lean one way or another on that Georgia Alabama game, since we're talking about that?
Yeah, I do have a lean on it, Pat. I've talked about this. This is kind of This is going to be Alabama viewed very differently, and it's why I ain't scared. Alabama straight up over Georgia, and they break that long nighttime streak. And all the people that are wanting to write the obituary for Alabama football and Kalen DeBoer, not so fast.
Sorry, Brett. Put your shirt on, Conrad. Goodness gracious.
Hey, give him some music. Let's let him do that again, like do it officially, since he kind of came out of the gate early. All right, here we go. Go for it, Brett. I ain't scared. Do it again.
I'm not scared. I think Alabama wins 31-24, and a lot of the Ty Simpson critics, Kalen DeBoer critics, you're going to be quieted down. You know, in the 70s, great rock song, they call Alabama the Crimson Tide. They still will after Saturday.
That's great, Brett. Wonderful. Before we let you get out of here.
I've got another one down in your part of the country.
Oh,
fire it up.
Fire it up in College Station.
All right, go.
Auburn straight up at College Station.
Brett Norsworthy, what are you doing to us?
My goodness.
27-24. Coach Reeves gets that win. Really shoulda, coulda last weekend at Oklahoma. But this week I think they have the better of the two quarterbacks. And as much as nice as they are and as great as it is going to College Station, the cleanest place on earth, the friendliest place on earth. Everywhere you go, howdy, howdy. Everybody's trying to be so nice. It's not tough to play at.
So you're telling me that College Station is the new Disney?
It kind of is, and they are almost too nice. In the first few years, we went down there in 2014, week after we beat Alabama here in the big game in 2014. And, I was really worried about, what kind of effort we'll have. And all day on campus, going over to George H.W. Bush's library, nice young lady. I was trying to get directions from her. She said, "Sir, let me walk you over there." She's just really nice. And I said, "Why are y'all so nice?" She said, "That's just the way we are." I said, "Wait till LSU comes down here a lot of times. It'll change you."
Well, as I'm circling back, listen, I know nothing beats the Egg Bowl, but when LSU is in town, how crazy is Oxford?
Well, I was at a lunch. I'm already in Oxford, and it will start getting full tonight. And I was at a place that, on the weekend it'd be impossible to get in, and just walked in today and sat down and was eating with the crew. And I told the nice bartendress, I said, "Are you ready? Are you ready for the circus to arrive?" Now, I'm just repeating what she says. Yeah, the LSU animals will be here this weekend.
Oh, that's going to be a lot.
By the way,
fun.
where does the team stay on home games? They stay outside?
No, Ole Miss stays right here on campus at the end at Ole Miss, right by the Grove.
Yeah.
Literally 5 minutes from our stage. I tell people, and I mean this as sincerely as anything I've ever said in my life, when I swing that back door open, it's the best 5 minutes of my day walking over to that stage. I mean, you can just feel it, and you know it matters. It's a great feeling. Now, the opposing team, I want to say 2 years ago, LSU stayed. I know they did. They stayed in Memphis at the Peabody and worked out at AutoZone Park for their walkthrough, but it was a night game that year.
Oh, okay.
I stayed at the end of Ole Miss. That place was nice. It was good.
It is really nice, Landrum, and they treat me so well. And I'm camped out here in my room that I've been in for years now, and it's the calm before the storm today. But I want the storm. I say that about LSU. Let me be clear. I love their fandom. I love going down there. I love who they are, what they're about, and they always have a great team. And this rivalry is so much fun. And Lane won in 23 and in 21, beat Ed Orgeron in 21, beat Brian Kelly in 23. So 21, 23, 25, Rebs 35-21 over LSU. Get the music going, Conrad.
Oh, give him some music, Conrad. What are you doing? He's
Trying to put his shirt back on.
I don't have the music anymore.
Oh, my, come on.
What is wrong with you?
What are you doing?
You already did it twice.
You got him so worked up.
Come on, let's have it one more
You got
time.
a touch screen, don't you?
Come on. He's just.
No, you got to wait for an ad and everything now.
No.
Oh my God! Hold on, we got to do this right. Just we'll
That's okay.
buy him a little
That's
time
okay.
here. There we go. Go for it, Brett.
Rebs 35-21 over LSU. Not just win, but beat them by 14.
Oh, 2 touchdowns.
Make them like it.
There you go. Good stuff. Hey, any chance Mississippi State pulls the shocker against UT this weekend?
I like them plus the points because I like that half-point hook in the 7.5.
Yeah.
So I do like the points, and I love Jeff Lebby. I know y'all can tell that when I talk about him and speak of him, and he's going to have Starkville as electric and as fun tomorrow. There will be a lot of Tennessee fans there. They're anywhere. A lot from Memphis heading down there, and they'll see a good scene. And if they can keep Blake Shapen upright all year, I think with fluff and running the ball a little bit, State's going to win a few more games in the league than most of us thought at media day.
Brett, I saw that Tennessee defense up close, and no disrespect, they got some good players, but they need to be on the lookout. This is a dangerous, dangerous game. I'm with you. I think State's got a great chance. And the thing is, and now in Starkville, they actually believe. They believe.
Yeah, they
believe
do,
again.
And I said last year, give Levy plenty of time. Shapen got hurt last year, and first year, hardest time ever to be at a place completely starting over. The tragedy of Coach Mike Leach, and Zach Garnett, really didn't have a chance. And all the changes in college sports to, just a hurricane hit them. I think they keep it close all day, and I love that hook. In fact, I've got Tennessee winning 27-20. So State gets there by half, and we know half point looks like a line drive in the scorebook.
That's right. Brett
Sure
Norsworthy. He is the best. He's our friend. He's a Southern gentleman, WHBQ, and a member of the Ole Miss radio crew as they take on LSU Saturday in Oxford. Brett, we always appreciate it. Thank you, my friend.
Well, I appreciate y'all, and this is the last playing Saturday in September. Green Day once saying, "Wake me up when September ends."
That's great. Thanks, Brett. We'll talk to you later.
You got it.
Thanks. That's Brett Norsworthy joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. All of our guests join us on that hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Never took Brett for a Green Day guy. Maybe so. All right. We continue. We'll talk college football and digest what Brett just told us next. 12:53, 3-man front. Always a busy Thursday. Always a great time with our friend Brett Norsworthy. If you missed it, he picked Alabama to win. He picked Auburn to win in College Station. And he likes Mississippi State plus the points. Also, he likes the Ole Miss Rebels over LSU. 34-21 is, I think, the score that he gave us, guys. But all of that is available. All of our guests joining us, whether it's Rodney Orr of Tighter Insider, Rob Pate, Peter Rauterkus, all of us, all of our guests join us every single day on the Higginbotham Hotline, and you can find all of that there at the podcast every single day at JocksFM.com. We got time for a few of your texts. A lot of you weighing in and reacting to comments in the last hour of the show. Let's go to Bobby, who I know is a big LSU fan. He says not only is LSU going to win 27-10 this weekend in Oxford, but Whit Weeks is going to one-up his performance from last year of 18 tackles and have 20-plus tackles in this game.
I'll be honest with you. I really don't know what to make of the... because you make the argument, right? He wants to show out in front of his girlfriend and her dad and all that. But you could also have maybe he is a little bit distracted. Maybe there is a little something to that angle that's been brought up. I really don't know what to make of it. But it feels like it's the most important part of this game is his relationship with Landry Kiffin.
Maybe so. I could pick some other things that I think are the most important parts of this game, but yours is a lot more fun.
Yes.
Speaking of Landry Kiffin, this text reads, Landry Kiffin is Luke Skywalker to Ole Miss, but she's Darth Vader to Auburn.
That's fair. So she's her own father?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, spoilers for Star Wars.
That's okay. There's time limits on some of these movies. Jamie says, was a student for Penn State, Bama home and home, drove up to Happy Valley. It was a whiteout. Coolest thing you'll ever see, and those fans are amazing. Happiest place in college sports. You substitute that experience for maybe an Auburn experience from a few years ago, maybe different sentiment.
Yeah. But we can all agree going to Norman is just not fun.
Someone asking Kentucky versus South Kakalaki, who y'all got?
It better be South Carolina.
It will be South Carolina. I like the point spread playing at home under the lights at Williams-Brice Stadium. Sorry to our Kentucky fan. Darren, who's your friend? Darren's from Tennessee.